Hello. So hopefully you've been working through exercise 11A. I hope it's been going very well. Now either you've been thinking, yes, this is quite easy, I can get into this, in which case, great. Or you might have thought, this is really, really hard, in which case, that's not looking good. The fact of the matter is, this is the first exercise, isn't it, of quite a long chapter, and you need to really quickly get into the swing of things, okay? Don't panic, despite that, even if you are finding it a bit difficult. I'm hoping it will come in time, okay? But what I want to do is just go over question 2 for you, because it might be the case that maybe one or two of them you didn't spot what to do straight away, okay? And I'm just going to try and help you out with that. But I will emphasize what I said, okay? You do need to be really good at these first few exercises that are in the chapter, because it does get pretty difficult later on. Right, so question 2. Part A, so find the integral of 1 over cos squared x plus 1 over x squared. Right, well, the thing to do is to write 1 over cos squared x as sec squared x and 1 over x squared. Well, you did this last year, didn't you? Okay, in year 12, you were used to integrating things like that quite easily. So that is just x to the negative 2. Now, if you are looking up your list of integrals, standard functions, then you'll quickly see that point 6 is integral sec squared x is tan x. Okay, so the first one is just going to be tan x, and the second one, I'm hoping that you don't need an explanation for that. Okay, negative 1 over x, and then of course plus c. Now in time, you need to be able to recognise that the integral of sec squared x is tan x. I'm going to go through part B, C and D, and then while the answers are up there, I'll show you a handy technique to see how you can check your answers. Right, part B then, so sin x over cos squared x, you need to write this out as sec x tan x, and then 2e to the x, you can just keep as it is. And then what you need to do is just look at the list of standard integral results, and you'll see point number 9, that is just going to be sec x, okay? And 2e to the x plus c, again from year 12 work. Part C, 1 plus cos x over sine squared x, you can write that as cosec squared x plus cosec x cot x. That's the first fraction done. Then the second fraction is a bit like year 12 really, where you can just write as x to the negative 2 plus 1 over x dx. That one's less year 12, isn't it? The reason I've written 1 over x as 1 over x as opposed to x to the negative 1 is because you need to know straight away that the integral of 1 over x dx is natural log of x. Natural logarithms is something that will come up a lot in this integration unit. Okay, so just look out for integral of 1 over x. Okay, you can't get away from it. You're always going to have natural logs come up at some point. Okay, I'm hoping you're getting an idea for the feel just by looking at questions A, B and C of what you need to do with the trigonometry. You need to make good use of sec, cosec and cot. Okay, that's why we learnt those. Well, one of the reasons why we learnt those rules in the trigonometry chapter. Okay, so when you write them in terms of cosec or cot or sec, you're going to find the integration a lot easier to do. Now, following on from this integration, integral of cosec squared x, that is negative cot x, that's rule number 8 on the standard results. The next one is negative cosec x, that is rule number 7 in the standard integral results. The next one, just write as negative 1 over x, and then as I mentioned, plus natural log of x. Don't forget the modulus brackets, please. I think I mentioned modulus brackets already in a previous video, but since I filmed that about a week ago, I cannot remember. But there is a video somewhere where I mentioned modulus brackets. Okay. Right, part D, so integral 1 over sine squared x, and I'm hoping you're getting the idea. Just write that as cosec squared x, and then the 1 over x, otherwise just leave it as it is. And then the integral of cosec squared x is negative cot x, that is rule number 8. And then plus natural log of x plus c. Now that's how quickly you need to be able to do it as well. Okay, so if you can't do it that quickly yet, you need to get a lot of practice with this. You also might be thinking, do I really need to learn all these integral standard functions? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Right, let's do part E. So with the brackets, you need to expand them. Okay, so expand sin x 1 plus sec squared x. So when you expand the first term, you're just going to get sin x, and then the second term, I'm just giving you a bit of time to think about it. Sine x, sec squared x, sine x over cos squared x, sine x over cos x times 1 over cos x, sec x tan x. Okay. Now, why did I write it like that? You might have thought tan x, sec x. Well, if you can try and get the habit of writing it sec x, tan x, then you might be able to remember the standard integral result more easily. Number 9, sec x, tan x. Okay. Just a little hint, when you are writing 2 or more trigonometric terms multiplied together, try and write it in alphabetical order, helps you. So sec x, tan x, because s before t. Okay. Just a little hint there for you. Then when you integrate that, hopefully you can do that quite easily. If not, just use the results on page 294 to help you out. So integral of sine x is negative cos x. Integral of sec x tan x is sec x, and then you've got plus c. And that's that. E, let's expand the brackets. So you're going to get cos x, of course, plus, again, I'm just leaving you time to think about it there. So cos x, cos x squared x, cos x over sine squared x, cos x over sine x times 1 over sine x. Think about the alphabetical order then. Yes, I know they both begin with C, but come on. C-O-S is before C-O-T. So cosec x, cot x. Okay. And then just integrate each one at a time. So integral of cos x, you get sine x, integral of cosec x, cot x, negative cosec x plus c. Part G, let's expand the brackets. So cos x squared x plus 1 over sine squared x plus sine squared x over cos squared x. So that's 1 over cos squared x. So that's sec squared x. Okay. And then integrate each one of those. Cos x squared x becomes negative cot x. Sec squared x becomes tan x plus c. And then part H, expand the brackets. So where are we? There we are. Sec squared x, and then subtract. So 1 over cos squared x times cos squared x over sine squared x. That's 1 over sine squared x. That's cosec squared x. And then integrate each one of those one at a time. I'm hoping you can see it's kind of the same as part G, isn't it? You've got cosec squared x here in G, sec squared x in G. So if you can't get the actual answer from that, there's something wrong there, isn't there? So tan x plus cot x plus c. Right, next, part I, more expanding of brackets to be done. The e to the x in there makes it look like it's going to be hard, but actually it doesn't, because when you expand the brackets, you just get sec squared x, and of course, 1 over cos squared x times cos squared x is 1, so you just get e to the x. And that's rather simple. Okay. So when you integrate that, you're just going to get tan x plus e to the x plus c. That's done. Question J. Now, when you've got a fraction like this, you need to rewrite it. So what you do is you have 1 over cos squared x and sine x over cos squared x. So the 1 over cos squared x, first of all, that gives you sec squared x, and then the sine x over cos squared x, sine over cos times 1 over cos, so that's sec x tan x. That's that. And then cos squared x times sec x, so that's cos squared x times 1 over cos x, so that's cos x. And then integrate each one of those one at a time. So the first one is tan x, second one is sec x, and the last one plus sine x plus c. And there we are. That's done. I hope you found that useful. I'll just emphasize again that you need to be able to do these questions as quickly as I've gone over them. That needs to be a target. If you need some more practice, then at some point do the exercise again. I'm hoping you've answered every single question, exercise 11A, because at this stage, they should all be pretty simple, okay? And you need to be gearing yourself up towards the harder questions that are yet to come, okay? If you do have any other questions about any of the rest of the exercise, then do let me know. But I'm hoping that you found that useful. Okay, I'm going now, so you'll hear from me again soon.